we have some music that's going to accompany that, and then I will narrate through it. We recorded the whole process of creating this peace pole. And at the time we were doing this, my wife, we went into ceremony, and we asked for direction from the Spirit how to proceed with finding this peace pole. In my heart, being a Sundance chief, I felt my first instinct was cottonwood. It should be out of wood. So I said, okay, we're going to go into ceremony ourselves to find the one that would represent Turtle Island. And another one of our Teoshpai chief, he came, and when he heard this, he said, here, he handed me this turtle shell, and it was in pieces. So I put it all back together. It's an old ancient turtle shell. It's dry, it turned gray, it lost its color. Ancient, relative. And there was parts missing on it, and so luckily I took, when I was in college, a course called Curatorial Techniques, which is restoration of artifacts. So I restored, some of the pieces that were missing, and I made it whole for this ceremony. And he's going to ride on the top of this man's head for as long as he exists, and I'm sure he'll outlive all of us. I just want to prepare you a little bit for what you're going to see here. I have a traditional Dakota art class that I teach at the college, back at the Hongtuan Community College on my reservation, and I usually present lots of cultural and spiritual teachings through the foods, and because anything that a man creates is art. It's not all good art, it's all master's art, it's not all bad art either, but it's art. It wasn't there, no bird, no animal, no fish or plant made it. But if human sees something of beauty and he wants to remember that moment in a photograph, or to create it with his hands, to simulate a spider web or anything like that he sees and what is meaningful to his heart, he'll create it and recreate it over and over till he does master it. So I had all these teachings to my students, and I teach them about even the traditional foods and things from everything, the culinary arts, everything. My wife, we get together, we take them out, we teach them, we show them the traditional foods, the wild plants and the medicines, and it's a beautiful class that we have, and when we join our energies together. But our students, they took this very serious. I brought this into my classroom, and they looked at it and they went, whoa, this is what it needs. And they did all the research. I said, this is you. I wrote words on the board. What spirit energy do you want to apply to this peace pole? And each one followed their heart to find what they would like to put on there. We have the plants, we have the animal spirit nations, we have the bird nations, we have the insect nations represented on here. And it was amazing because during the whole process, they would all come. The honeybees would fly around me. They would touch the pole and they would just buzz around my hands as I just kept working. The ladybugs would come and they would crawl, and I made a little ladybug on there. And the ladybugs, they all gathered and they stayed right on the ladybug. Sat right on its head. That was so wonderful. I'm like, wow, look at, they know. And when we were bringing this peace pole, my wife and I don't know if everybody heard me mention that to different ones, but we stopped at a place to eat, and all the birds came. A whole flock of birds landed around our vehicle. And they said, I saw watching them, she had her back to the window. I said, look it, the birds know we're bringing this man, the sacred man, to the 11/11 conference. And all the birds, they all gathered around the car. And all of a sudden, they all went inside the car under all the wheel wells, and they all disappeared. And the whole flock just disappeared. And you can see some coming, some jumping down, hopping around on the parking lot. And they know what we're bringing. They feel it because the birds, in their feathers, in every feather, there's a membrane in the center of all the shafts that's real sensitive to electromagnetic energy, which is what they feel, how they can have group consciousness when they fly. What one knows on this end of the flock, this one knows over here, and so they all move simultaneously, which is what we as human beings need to learn and do, like what we're doing here today in 11-11-11. We have group consciousness. There are 4 languages on there: Hopi, Cherokee, Lakota, and Mayan, languages of Turtle Island, all saying, "May peace prevail on earth." All the spirit images are on there, and he'll stand here for the whole day. So if you want to come, and we left 3 arms on him, the Trinity of 3 arms, the Father, Mother, and Child, which is you. You're the child, Father, Mother, Child. The Trinity is on here. And so there's also a hole in it that is where, if you have a little pinch of tobacco, you can put that in there for prayers. Whatever you would like to offer, you can hang it on these arms, these hands that are on it. And on the bottom you'll see the medicines, the sunflowers. There's 4 of them, of the 4 directions and the 4 languages, in all the spirit nations represented on there. The whale is on there. The elk is on there. Everything that you've seen in the slideshow. The base itself has all of the 11-11 symbols on it. This was all given to us in ceremony, said in a ceremony. There was 5 of us that went into the ceremony, and those 5 made up the 5-pointed star that also represented on there. So this is the interpretation. And the turtle, we mentioned what he represents, the Turtle Island. This continent, there is the grandmother, great-great-great-grandmother of Turtle Island, to remind us of where we stand and what part of this planet we are to protect, what we are to nurture and take care of. This is our responsibility, Turtle Island, right here. So when you see the turtle from here forward, know that it represents your duties to her, your sacred responsibilities to her. We are to take care of her. These symbols that are on the base, those are healing symbols. Know them, learn them. Those are the 11-11 symbols that came through ceremony that my brother and Silver Star and Pathfinder went through, and many other people went through. The fastings, everything, those teachings, that 11-11 manuscript that's out there on the table. Take one, go and purchase one. Know the symbol, because that's going to be your guide when you leave here. When you see somebody digging in the earth somewhere and you feel hurt for her, that symbol of healing is on there. Learn about it in that manuscript. Go and put that symbol with your finger in the earth and circle it for healing in that area. Anywhere in the world where you need it to take place, know what your job is. There's lots of tools, everything that's out there on those tables. See what is for you. Follow your heart for what's for you, and go and do your job. Pick up your sacred responsibilities from this day forward. We're going to prevail. We are going to bring peace to Mother Earth if we all do this job. And everybody that we run into, teach it to them, tell them, this is what your purpose is. Everybody's asking, what am I here for? What is my purpose? Why am I on Mother Earth? We come here to help her evolve and take her place in creation. And we do it from our heart to her heart, to our Father's heart. And we are going to be this antenna. It's going to represent us anywhere and everywhere. We'll carry this peace pole where we are asked to bring it in a sacred manner. So, nobody can say that we are idolizing. This is not an idol. This is a representation of our heart, of our love for Mother Earth and for ourselves, for Creator God, and recognizing what we came here to do, to stand in love. And what this whole 2,000 years was about was to know about how to use the power of love for each other, for your family, for your communities, for your whole nation and the world. And to understand that we can't do any of this without Mother Earth being healthy. And so that's our job, to help her. She needs lots of help, lots of healing. And in our cultural ways, our traditional ways as indigenous nations, we have these altars, these connectedness to Mother Earth and to powers that be. And it's in your heart. This is the part that the world forgot about. They got more into their head, thinking that this is how it should be, rather than feeling and knowing that it should be this way. Nobody can say that your prayers were wrong because your heart has stood in front of you. It came out, and that was you. That was 100% you praying for Mother Earth's sake and for all of the spiritual evolution of humanity. So we did this for yourself, for all humanity and all of creation. So I want to thank you at this time for your prayers, for your offerings, and for giving me the honor, and my wife here. We are very honored. We come a long ways to be here today to present this on behalf of Turtle Island. We went from our hearts, we followed our hearts to be here today, and today our hearts connect with your hearts, and we're very grateful. Pidamaya Deo Nina Wopida Tanka. I'm very grateful, thankful. Pidama. Mitakye Oyasi.
Wechach peko amle dokia dokia